Every week, we're given a new video that explains to us how dopamine is ruining your life. So today, we're gonna tell you how to use dopamine to improve your life. Dopamine is a chemical that is released from your brain, and its job is to make you feel good. Think of dopamine as a key. It unlocks a door, and behind that door are things like pleasure, satisfaction, and motivation. Now, if you're using dopamine to unlock those doors, you have to be prepared that some of these doors don't have great things behind them. Some of the not so great things that come from dopamine are things like addiction. Whether it's gambling, smoking, drinking, or pornography, it's an addiction. Today, we're gonna take you through just a few basic things to understand about dopamine so that you can use it to your advantage. Now, we use a lot of analogies here. Here's another one. Think of dopamine as a car, and you're the driver of it. The best thing you can do as a driver is learn how to drive that car like an expert. Of course, there are things happening around you that you can't control, but at least you can control your car. So when you're controlling dopamine, it's gonna be affected by a lot of the stuff around you. And you're not really like controlling it. I think that's like some magic stuff your brain does that you can't really decide. Either way, there's definitely a way that understanding dopamine better is gonna make it so that you can use it to your advantage. You see, dopamine runs in peaks, right? It goes up and it goes down. So let's say you eat a piece of candy. That makes you feel good. Your dopamine spikes up, which means that it's gonna use a little bit of that dopamine that's reserved here in your brain. So once all that dopamine is scooped out from eating so much candy and having so many spikes, your reserve is empty. That is, for a lack of a better term, not so good. So what do? How do you fix this? How are you gonna use dopamine to your advantage? It's simple. You do things that take a long time. When it takes a long time to get to that dopamine peak, that gives your brain the opportunity to refill your dopamine. And now, it's not bad for your dopamine levels to go low and then build back up. That's a good thing. What is bad is not really letting them ever fill back up. Let's say you've been doing a project for school. You work really hard on it, you take a long time, and then you finish it and you get an A. Now you feel hyped because you got that A. In my life, that's me working towards making a sale for my video production company. When I do that, I feel awesome. And I know it's gonna take a long time to get there again, which is gonna allow my dopamine to build back up. This literally makes it so that your peaks are even better. Now let's say you're playing a video game and you're about to fight that final boss. Your dopamine has been increasing and it's about to peak because you're gonna defeat the boss and you're gonna feel great. And then right after that, you're gonna do more video gaming and you're gonna spend another hour or 2 or 3 and then eventually fight another boss so you peak again. The issue with this is you haven't given your brain enough time to refill that dopamine. You're gonna run out eventually, maybe, I don't know, don't quote me on that one. Now in my life, an example of some bad dopamine usage is scrolling on Instagram. I scroll on Instagram, I see a cool video, my dopamine spikes, I get that hit, yes! And then I scroll past it and I'm unsatisfied again. It doesn't give my dopamine enough time to get back up to full. I'm just using it and using it and using it. Eventually you have barely any dopamine left and you're still going for those hits of dopamine. That's where addiction forms. The main thing you need to grasp and fully understand at the end of this video is that you can use dopamine to your advantage, and the way to do that is by enjoying the journey. Whatever that journey might be, whether it's an assignment in school or it's you starting your own business, you get so much time to enjoy that journey. Your dopamine gets to build back up and then you get to peak again. So what happens when you don't give the dopamine that time? Essentially, you just keep using the same amount of dopamine that you get every single time. Your body will produce as much as it can, and as soon as you get that hit, it tries its best. When your body can't keep up with you, the peak flips upside down. You peak downwards. You're depressed. You're sad. You're not enjoying anything in life anymore. Scrolling sucks. The pornography doesn't do it anymore. This sweet food just makes you feel terrible. Now that we've given you all of these awesome points, I hope that you can take this information and use it in your own life. Because when you can truly understand dopamine, you can change your entire life. Now that you know how to use dopamine to benefit your own life, go check out our other video where we talk about the dangers of masturbating too frequently.